This is Glenn Rice with Michelangelo's Plumbing. We are located at 3392 Manning Court, Los Angeles, California. Today is October 30th, 2019. We are performing a video sewer inspection through a 4-inch ABS cleanout located on the left-hand side of the property in the side yard, just next to the AC condenser fan motor. We went ahead and zeroed out our camera monitor. This is our side yard. There's our water heater. This is our AC condenser. And that's our 4-inch ABS cleanout. And this is towards the front of the property. We went ahead and zeroed out our camera monitor here. And we'll go ahead and zero out our camera monitor here. And we will begin our video sewer inspection. Here's we're dropping down black ABS sewer pipe, and here's what we immediately transition to. We transition to vitreous clay. And we're going to go ahead and continue to push through our vitreous clay. And as we push in here, we do have a fairly large crack here in this area here. As you can see, there is a crack there. And as we pull back a little bit, we can tell that the crack is from about the 6 o'clock going all the way up around towards the 12 o'clock area. Very difficult to tell, but as you look on the left-hand side, you can see other areas that are cracked also. And so we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back in. That is at about 9 feet 10 inches. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to push in. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. And again, in this area here, as you can see, there is a fairly large crack on the right-hand side, right around the 3 o'clock area. And it's running back, and also it appears that it's cracked all the way up and around. As you can see, from about the 3 o'clock area all the way up to around the 10 o'clock area and around there. Appears to be a small amount of roots coming in from the top. And this area here is at 21 feet 3 inches. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. This joint here, we do have a small amount of roots coming in through the joint here at the top, right around the 9 o'clock all the way around to about the 3 o'clock area. And we're going to go ahead and continue to push out. And as you can see, this joint also has a fairly large crack in the joint there, as you can see from about the 6 o'clock. And as I push back, you can see the roots coming through the crack in the joint all the way up to about the 12 o'clock area. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. And what we're going to do is we're just going to push all the way out into our city sewer tie-in. And as we pull back, we'll take a really good look at the line and mark these areas. That joint appears to be in fair condition. Minor offset in that joint, but nothing major. Continue to push out. We're making a little bit of a turn. And again, we do have some more roots in the joint right around the 2 o'clock area, all the way around to about the 12 o'clock area. And that joint there does appear to have a crack just after the joint connection there. As you can see there's the crack there, and as we pull back, you can see the face of the crack there right around the 3 o'clock to about the 5 o'clock area. So again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out, and then on our way back we'll mark these areas. The joint appears to be in fair condition. This joint here does have a root intrusion there from about the 12 o'clock all the way around to about the 5 o'clock area. And I'm going to go ahead and continue to push out. And as you can see, this has a very large root intrusion from about the 9 o'clock area all the way around to about the 3 o'clock area. We're going to go ahead and continue to push out. The joint appears to be in fair condition. Minor offset, but nothing major. I'm just going to go ahead and continue to push out. And we do have roots in this joint here also, right about the 3 o'clock area, and that's going all the way up into also around the 9 o'clock area. And again, it does appear that there is a crack right around the 3 o'clock to about the 5 o'clock area there. You can see it at the top of the joint, and again, it's very difficult to see with the root intrusion there. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. And we do have a crack here in this joint, in this area here. It does appear to be a crack, or maybe some of the surface of the vitreous clay had been eroded away there. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. And again, this line does give some evidence of possibly the line was hydrojetted at one time, just due to the areas here where you can see the vitreous clay has been chipped away, and that's kind of a somewhat of a telltale sign of the hydrojetter went through the line here and scrubbed this line. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out, and we do have roots here in this joint also from about the 11 o'clock area all the way around to about the 3 o'clock. So we're going to go ahead and continue to push out. And here we have a fairly large root intrusion, and this root intrusion here is approximately the whole proximity of the whole diameter of the pipe on the inside. So we're just going to push on through. We're going to make a little bit of a turn. It does appear that we have some root intrusion in these joints too. So again, we're just going to push out and attempt to get all the way out into our city sewer tie-in, and then from here we'll pull back and mark some of these areas. Again, we do have roots in this joint here. So again, I'm going to pause the mic and continue to push out, and with the attempt I'll get all the way out into our city sewer tie-in, and then from there we'll pull back and we'll take a really good look at the line and mark some areas. So we're going to pause here. Okay, we went ahead and pushed all the way out into our city sewer tie-in, and here we're making our turn. This is our city sewer saddle area, and we push out and we're into our city sewer tie-in. So we're going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we went ahead and located this area, and it is at approximately 7 foot 7 inches deep, and this is just parallel with the manhole cover out in the middle of the street. So we're going to go ahead and continue to pull back, and we're going to pull back to some of the areas where we have some concerns with cracking and roots. We're going to pull back. What we'll do is we'll pull back to our first large root intrusion, and we'll mark that area. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pause here and mark this area. Okay, we went ahead and marked this area at 5 foot 10 inches deep. It's just left to the left. And it's just to the left of the water meter on the sidewalk area. So we're going to go ahead and continue to pull back.
Watch the transition.
And I'm going to pause here and mark this area also. Okay, we went ahead and marked this area with an orange flag, and it is at 6 foot 0 inches deep in the grass area. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. We're going to pull back slowly and try to get a good look at the line. I'm going to pause here for a moment and take a look at this area here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and continue to pull back. We did run a little bit of water just to take a look and make sure this wasn't our tie-in for the guest house in the back. And it just appears to be could be a test Y, or they could have put a Y fitting in there just to make the turn. So as we pull back, we're going to pull back here slowly. And as you can see on that area there, we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back slowly. We're going to go ahead and continue to pull back slowly, and we're going to pause here and mark this area. This is a fairly large root intruded area, so we're going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we're about 6 foot 1 inches deep, and we're about 4 feet back on the sidewalk, going back towards the house. And this area here, as you can see, has a fairly large root intruded joint. We're going to continue to pull back. And as we pull back, as I had mentioned, the line does appear that it has been hydrojetted in the past, just due to the peeling and scaling of the vitreous clay. So we're going to pull back to a few more joints and take a look. And we're going to pause right here at this joint here. And as you can see, we do have a large crack right around the 3 o'clock, about the 9 o'clock all the way down to about the 6 o'clock area. And as I pull back, you can see it pretty much runs up and around the diameter of the pipe. So we're just going to go ahead and pull in and pause here for a moment and mark this area. Okay, we went ahead and marked this area at 5 foot 5 inches deep, and this is just in the middle of the yard. And all these areas we've been marking with an orange flag. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back.
Just crack.
Yeah. And we do have a crack in this joint here, and this crack is visible right around pretty much the whole diameter of the pipe, from about the 9 o'clock area all the way around to about the 6 o'clock area. So we're just going to push in here, and we're going to pause for a moment. We're going to mark this area. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And as I had mentioned on the way out, as we're pushing out into our city sewer tie-in, we did mark and note all the areas that we did have cracks in. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back slowly, and we're going to take a really good look at the line. And as you can see here, we have what appears to be a little bit of root intrusion there at the top of that joint. And we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And again, these joints here are root intruded. So we're going to continue to pull back. And we do also have more root intrusion in these joints here. And this joint here has a fairly large crack, and this crack is visible from about the 2 o'clock area all the way around to about the 7 o'clock area. As I push in here, you can see it on the right hand side. You can see the crack is completely visible, and you can also see the root intrusion there. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. We're making a little bit of a turn. And we're going to pause here. Okay, we went ahead and paused here for a moment. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pull back and identify the area where our guest house ties in to our sewer line. So again, as I mentioned, we do have several cracks, several root intruded joints, and we did mark multiple areas throughout the front yard and out in the street. And as you can see in this joint here also, it's cracked. You can see the crack there right around the 6 o'clock going up to about the 12 o'clock area with a root intruded joint that's penetrating between the crack. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And these joints here are also root intruded. And continue to pull back. And here we have a crack that is right around the 9 o'clock area going around to about the 5 o'clock area. And you can see a large root intrusion there that had been penetrating through the crack. And this is not in a joint, this is in between the joints. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And we do have a fairly large offset in this joint from about the 3 o'clock area to about the 11 o'clock area. Continue to pull back. And I'm going to pause here for a moment. Okay, as we pull back, we do notice that we are tied in. This is our tie-in for our guest house, and it's just at 2 foot 10 inches deep. And this is just at the back of our clean out here. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull up and out of our 4-inch ABS clean out, and we're going to pause here, and we're going to relocate ourselves to the guest house. So we're going to go ahead and continue to pull out, and we're going to pause here. Shit. Okay, we went ahead and relocated ourselves to the back of the house, to the guest house on the roof. And we are just at the back side of the roof, running through a 2-inch vent pipe, which is just above the bathroom shower area. And we went ahead and already pushed out a little ways just to see if we can get our camera through. And so we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. And it does appear to be black ABS sewer pipe. We're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. We're going to push out as far as we can, and once we get to the transition of ABS to vitreous clay, we've made it to our clean out, which is just at the front of the house. And it does appear that we do have some small belly areas here holding back a little bit of water in the black ABS sewer pipe. And it does appear that we've transitioned to what appears to be cast iron. We're going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we went ahead and located this area, and as we pushed out, we basically transitioned from our black ABS sewer pipe from our guest house at the rear of the property, and we transitioned back into cast iron waistline, which is just underneath the main house. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back and conclude our video. Okay, we went ahead and pulled up and out of our 2-inch vent pipe cleaner from the back guest house, and that will conclude our video sewer inspection for the guest house and the video sewer inspection for the main house.